nearly 20 years in Tokyo. But we have to leave. I was born in 1988, my husband in 1984. We moved from our hometown to Tokyo nearly 20 years ago to build a life. We tried our best, fought hard to stay, but in the end, we just couldn't hold on anymore. I grew up in a poor rural area with parents who were farmers and had little to no financial support to offer. From a young age, I knew that if I didn't study hard, my future would be confined to the same struggles, working in the fields or taking on a low-paying job at a local factory before settling down with marriage. Luckily, I got into a university, a huge achievement back then, when passing the entrance exam was incredibly tough. When I first moved to Tokyo, I juggled both studying and working part-time to afford tuition since my parents couldn't support me. There were months when I lived off instant noodles just to get by. I graduated from a prestigious university with a decent GPA, thinking that my future was finally secured. But reality was harsh. I struggled to find a stable job, hopping from one company to another, facing toxic work environments, and dealing with jealous colleagues who spread rumors and made work unbearable. The stress was so overwhelming that I had to rely on painkillers just to get through the day. Then, I got married and had children. With no support from our families, I had to quit my job to take care of the kids for several years. By the time I was ready to rejoin the workforce, I was already falling behind. My skills were outdated, I wasn't good at office politics, and I had no connections. Eventually, I was let go. We never bought a house. Back then, we were too afraid to take on a loan. Now, housing prices have skyrocketed, making homeownership impossible for us. Living in Tokyo was expensive. Even with our kids only attending public school and no extra tutoring, our monthly expenses easily reached 18 to 20 million yen, despite cutting costs wherever possible. But the real blow came when my husband lost his job. His company suddenly restructured, and he was laid off. He searched tirelessly but found it difficult to compete with younger candidates willing to accept lower salaries. He tried working as a delivery driver and doing rideshare services, but the income was unstable. Some days, he'd be out all day and barely make 200-300 yen. Seeing him come home exhausted, all I could do was offer words of encouragement, though inside, I was just as anxious as he was. After many sleepless nights, we made the heartbreaking decision to leave Tokyo and return to our hometown. It feels late to start over, but at least life there is less expensive. There are industrial zones, job opportunities, and we wouldn't have to worry about rent or the overwhelming cost of city life. During our final days in Tokyo, we walked through the familiar streets one last time, flooded with emotions. This city wasn't where we were born, but it was where we spent our youth, where we built a life together. It held so many memories, both bitter and sweet. Goodbye, Tokyo, we will always remember you.